Special Friends podcast. My name is Mary Santora. This is my special friend.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm her special friend. She's my special friend.
That's as excited as you can get for it, huh?
No, I'm so excited.
I'm excited. We have been wanting to start this podcast for weeks, months.
It feels like years.
It feels so long. What they don't tell you is that it's expensive and you need so many items. It's just exhausting.
Lights, camera, the action.
Well, we are the action.
Right, and that's been really difficult. That's probably been the hardest part, is preparing.
Being the action has been the hardest. We haven't even done it.
This is the hardest part so far.
So far, sitting on your chair. You did argue that you didn't want a chair.
Well, I wanted to be comfy.
Mm-hmm.
And this chair, as you can see by the way I'm sitting, isn't
Not
necessarily how I would.
Not as comfortable as you would like it to be.
Yeah.
I see that.
More of a couch sitter.
Well, you can be a couch sitter. I mean, well, no, we're not changing around the entire setup.
No.
We bought the bookshelves.
My foot's going to fall asleep eventually, but...
We bought the bookshelves. IKEA came at 8:30 in the morning to deliver us our bookshelves. I hate this gamer mic, dude. I hate it so
It looks like you're about to do a Twitch live stream.
I hate it. They gave me these headphones with radio when we were trying to broadcast from home during COVID.
I can tell.
And I can't freaking stand it. This part drives me crazy because it looks insane. I look insane.
Yeah, you look like a Twitch streamer.
I'm not. I'm not a Twitch streamer. I mean, I could be, but I'm not. I would play like Sudoku live.
Ooh. Well, I'd play the Wordle. Wordle, Connections, the Mini. Every day. New York Times.
Do you get them right?
Always.
You cheat?
No, I'm so good at that game.
Which game?
Connections, I'm very good at.
I'm not very good at Connections.
I am very good at Connections. I get it every time. Every once in a while, the last one. Or sometimes, I don't know who's on the New York Times page, sometimes making those up. I'm like, they were on drugs when they made it up. Because some of them, it's like, okay, I was never going to get that.
Well, because they don't make any sense. They're like things inside your mom's fridge that would expire if your uncle didn't eat them. And
Exactly.
you're like, what the hell
But
is
I'll
this?
get that.
No, you
That's
won't.
the one that I would get.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's the
It's
one
the
that you're
one
confident
where
in?
I'm like, that's too easy. Like terms you'll hear in baseball. And I'm like, there's no way.
Easy.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's too easy. Where I'm like, there's no way they would do that. That's too easy.
So your strategy is that the harder like the less sense they make together, the more likely those words are going to go together.
The more likely it's going to make sense in my brain. Correct.
Mm-hmm. Is it you who's making them?
Yes, I'm.
You're the New York Times Wordle girl?
Little known fact, Mary. Did you know they put actual news on the New York Times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think it was? Just games?
Yeah.
No, they have like the games app for that. And then there's like, you did not know that the New York Times was a news source.
No, I thought they went straight to games.
No, you did not. I refuse to believe that.
I accidentally went to their homepage and I was like, what is this? And I couldn't find the games.
When was this? New York Times has been like a huge news source for decades.
It's crazy.
Oh my God. You also get your news off TikTok. So
exactly. That's how I need my news, in 1 minute increments.
Welcome to TikTok news. Maybe that'll be your end-all be-all job.
That's what like those people on TikTok and like they take the news article and then they're just like in the little corner explaining what the article's about. Yeah. That's how I want all of my news.
That's
just
how you want
1 minute increment. Get to the story, get to the plot, get to the lore. That's all I need.
The lore?
Yes.
What, like vampires and werewolves?
No, like the folklore of it all.
Yeah. All right.
That's what I need.
Well, I'm glad you found an outlet for that. That is not the New York Times. You have to read on the New York Times.
It's a lot.
I apologize for that. I thought it would be nice today if we explain how we became special friends and what that term kind of means. Right? For our first episode? Okay. So Sarah and I met on Instagram.
Actually, Mary, I knew of you.
We knew of each other, but
Yes.
we did not meet in person.
And I actually saw you live one time.
Where?
At Helium.
Did you say hi to me?
No, because I was like 6 months into comedy and you were performing at Helium and Alex Price told me that I should go watch you.
Okay.
He was like, you should go watch this girl. I think that you would get along with her. So I saw you like 6 months into doing comedy.
And that was 7 years ago.
Yeah.
You've been planning this for 7 years. This
And
makes
then I just
everything...
said nothing. I just waited.
Sarah, that's so creepy, dude.
I've
You've never told me that before. Dude, so you've been stalking my life. This makes a whole new meaning to Special Friends because I thought it was like a cute, innocent story, and you've been plotting
Well, no,
for the better
I saw
part
you
of the decade.
I saw you one time 7 years ago.
And you fell in love.
And then I secretly plotted and planned how I was going to get you to message me 7 months later on Instagram. Yes, that's what happened, Mary.
I knew it, dude. So uncomfortable. Well, I thought we had a very different origin story. No, that's cool, though. Do you remember, was it the main room or the small room?
It was the main room.
The Indie Helium 7 years ago. I had to have been opening for somebody.
Maybe. I remember you had a joke about the dressing room. And I knew you were talking about the buckle.
Yeah, that was the dressing room, the expensive store.
Yeah.
That I go to.
Because I was like, they do at the buckle always bring you extra clothes.
That's what the bit was about. About them bringing you too many things and how they're all expensive and you're like, I can't afford any. I want everything you've brought me. Don't get me wrong. I don't hate you or your job, but I can't do this.
Yeah.
This is not for me.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, apparently Sarah's known me for 7 years. I did not know that, but we were following each other on Instagram.
Wait, how did you end up following me? Just because I had followed you?
Probably. Or like I saw your videos or saw you on lineups or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember the specific date.
But you know, you messaged me on TikTok one time and you were like, just want to let you know I love your stuff.
No.
Yeah.
When was this?
Like 2021.
I don't think I knew who you were.
Yeah.
I think you might have just been a TikTok girl to me. And I was like, oh, that's really funny. That's actually probably when I followed you on Instagram then.
Yeah.
Is that I found whatever video on TikTok.
See? So, Mary, turns out maybe you were plotting this for a long time as well.
I was not, but you know what I'm getting a glimpse into is that you're the kind of person who doesn't forget anything. And that you hold on to things for 7 years because I do not remember messaging you on TikTok. But
I'll pull it up.
Pull it up.
I'll show it to you.
Where's your phone?
Right here. Because I don't get a lot of messages on TikTok, so it'll be very easy to pull up. But yeah, you just said, I love your stuff. And I said, oh my God, thank you. And then I think at that time, I think I may have told you that I had seen you live before. How do you get to your
Women
TikTok?
supporting women. You hear this? That's the kind of gal I am. Just sending out random messages to people on
I don't even know how to
search.
Where are your messages?
Search Mary.
Oh.
You don't follow me?
No, we're friends. Hold on. Here we go.
Man.
Hi.
I thoroughly enjoy your content. That's all. October 5th, 2022. I thoroughly enjoy you. One day I'm going to get to be on a show with you. Oh, no.
And then I spelled thoroughly wrong.
We both did.
And then you asked me if I would open up for you in Indy, and then you had another person open up for you.
You're in Indy, right? I'm headlining the small room next spring. Do you work there? I can try to get you on the show. I am. That would be awesome. I'll hit him. Oh, okay. What happened?
You never asked me to open up for you, and then I thought you hated me. And then an entire year and a half went by, and then you asked me to move in with you.
That's how this happened, apparently. I don't remember this conversation at all.
You were sober.
I am sober. I know.
Yeah, 2022. So,
I had been sober 3 years at that point.
This was not...
No. My intentions were there.
Yeah.
Sorry I didn't let you open for me. October to March. Yeah, well. So what happened apparently after that, which I'm just finding out about, after I was just like the coolest person ever, reaching out to a random woman on the internet like, oh my God, you're so funny. My life started to fall apart, which is a story for another day. But I was like, I think it's time for me to go to New York. And I was like, who are some comics who are ready to go to New York or who are like outgrowing their scene or people who are like really doing well and that I would want to live with, you know what I mean? Because that was the big part. It was also like, I'm not going to ask some random dude comic to move to New York with me. And you weren't the first person I text, I'll tell you that. The first person I text was Jasmine Carter, who is an LA comic.
Who's Jasmine?
She's great. She's so funny.
I'm kidding. I'm sure she's great.
Oh, but she's from Cleveland. So I was like, oh, I know Jasmine really well. Let's see if maybe she would want to go to New York. And she didn't.
But she was already in LA.
She's in LA.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But I was like, maybe she doesn't like it there.
Okay.
You know, I was like, hey, have you ever thought about New York? And she was like,
You've
I
never
have.
told me that I wasn't the first person you ask, but.
Well, you're revealing secrets.
Okay, so this is just a reveal all our secrets podcast? I thought this was a special friends podcast.
I guess, dude. You're the one being crazy.
Okay, so you asked Jasmine.
Jasmine
said no. So
then I asked you.
I was your second best option.
You were.
Which is fine.
And I said, hey, have you ever thought? I literally messaged her, DM'd her on Instagram out of the blue. We had never met in person before. And I was like, hey, have you ever thought about moving to New York?
And at that moment, I was on my laptop looking at apartments in New York. When you sent me that DM, I was like crying on my laptop. I was like, I'm never going to be able to afford to live there. And then it was like a message from God. I was like,
you literally said that. You said, oh my God, did God just text me?
I swear. I was like, what? Like, and also, you think like, oh, the universe points you in the direction that you're supposed to go. Mm-hmm. And I'm always looking for like little signs. And I was like, oh, this is not meant for me. And when it is meant for me, I will do it. And it was in that very moment, I'm like, okay, well, yes. Let's do it.
And that's that. I was actually shocked at how easy it was because you were just like, yeah, like my lease is up in April and I'm trying to go. I was like, well, I'm going to go in January. Can you bump it up?
And then, so we were supposed to move. My lease was up in April. Our heat goes out and they can't fix the heat in my house in January. And they were like, you can just end the terms of your lease in February and you can be out of here. And we won't charge you for the extra 2 months. You can have your deposit back. And I was like, okay, universe.
See, and that's when people don't believe in whatever your thing is, right? Universe, God, higher power, crystals, whatever your shit is. There's things like this that I'm like, it works out too perfectly. Yeah. There's some times where it just should never work and it does. And you're like, okay, then this is bigger than me.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So, we start texting and we're like planning and like, this is when we learned I'm a little more type A, you're a little more type B. When I was like, hey, here's my list of absolute must-haves. Hey, here's my list of non-negotiables. Hey, if you drink, we're not going to live together. Or like if you party, you know, I wanted to be very sure. Like if I'm about to live in a different place with someone I don't really know, we kind of got to be on the same page. Were you like annoyed by all my questions? Because there were sometimes you didn't really text me back and I was like, I'm bombarding her. This is too much.
It's not, and you can ask anybody, any of my friends, I just do not know how to text. I think I just get really overwhelmed with text messages, and you're a person that will text paragraphs in a row.
I'll text 6 or 7 texts in a row.
And I'm like, if it's that much, just call me.
But I didn't know
FaceTime me. I will FaceTime a stranger.
Okay.
That doesn't even cross my mind to send
just a little bit. Okay, go ahead.
3-paragraph text. That's insane to me. It wasn't what you were texting. I was just like, oh, she's got time on her hands.
Not even time on my hands. It was, I'm very thorough.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure because I'm very much like, don't waste my time.
You had 9,000 rules and I'd like to bring my cat and my couch.
I didn't have rules. I had like, here are things I like. Here are things.
These are non-negotiables. That's what you just said.
Yes.
Those are rules. That's what a rule is.
It's not a rule. A non-negotiable is like a thing my apartment must have. You're making it sound like I made rules where I was like, you can't be up past 11, no snacking on the couch.
That is what you do.
No, it is not.
And she hits me.
Oh my God. I don't do that. Let the record show. None of that's true. But I did have non-negotiables, which were like, I wanted extra space.
Right.
That was a big one for me. I wanted to be within walking distance of everything we needed, where I was like, I want to be close to the train. I want to be close to a grocery store. And
those are very normal non-negotiables, though.
But you didn't bring up any of it.
I said I wanted a nice kitchen. And I just assumed that I would want to be in walking distance of everything.
We ended up not.
Yeah.
Which is very annoying.
But we did get a good kitchen.
We did get a good kitchen. We, Sarah was still in Indianapolis. I got here in January. She was scheduled to come out mid-January for 3 days?
We had 3 days
to find an apartment. I was not happy with you.
I didn't even have a location set up. You were set on Astoria, and I was like, okay.
I was set on Astoria because of where my friend Emily lives, which is on Ditmars, which is like everything you could ever want. Trendy, everything. Restaurants, coffee, 4-minute walk to the train. Like the area of Astoria that my friend lived in, I was like, I want to live here. And then it's a little bit more expensive, so we weren't really finding everything we wanted. There was one place that I really, really liked.
But I didn't get to see it because I wasn't here.
You made a fuss about the kitchen.
The kitchen looked like my grandma designed it 45 years ago.
Okay,
and
I
then
understand
they didn't update it even once. And it also didn't have AC.
It did not have central air. That's true, but neither does the place we're in now.
It has some, I don't know what that is, and we keep arguing over what that is, but that's
She keeps
AC.
calling it a fan. We'll take a picture of it and overlay a picture of it, and she keeps referring to an air conditioning unit as a fan.
Oh, so an air conditioning unit, which is AC.
But it's not central air. That is not part of like we have baseboard heating. Central air is the air that comes up through the ground. That's what central air is.
It's
like when it's
cool
in the
here
house.
in the summer.
Yes, it's cool in here in the summer, but that...
The other house wouldn't have been.
Okay. We would have just had to buy one of those. That's the only difference. That's a window unit that they put into a wall. That's all that is.
What do you keep calling it?
An AC unit, an air conditioning unit.
So there's a difference between an AC and an AC unit. AC. What is the difference? What's happening?
I don't even know what you're asking me.
Central air.
Central air is when it's on the floor or in the ceiling and it comes out of a vent and it centrally comes from the house.
Right.
From the home itself has central air. That is a unit, which means there is no central air. Central air is it's centrally located in the home.
Got it.
Those are air conditioning units, separate units that go in each room or window.
You know where my confusion's coming from?
No, I don't. I don't know where your confusion's coming from.
I thought, what does AC stand for?
Air conditioning.
Correct. But when it's central air, isn't it AC?
They would tell you if like the house or apartment you were renting had central air.
Yes, I believe that, but that is where my confusion's coming from. That I think of AC as central air.
No, those are two completely different things. Well, AC is air conditioning. I don't think I would ever... I don't know if they advertise it as it having air conditioning.
Yeah, that would be crazy. So it's central air, and then we have an air conditioning unit.
You've never had those?
No.
You grew up poor, I thought.
Not that poor.
You didn't have those in like the windows?
No, we had central air growing up.
Oh.
We weren't that poor.
So your whole hillbilly thing is a lie. Everything, I'm finding out 18 minutes in. I don't even know this person. I don't even know her.
I feel like you central air in the boondocks of Indiana is not a huge luxury. I think everyone has that.
We didn't have it. We didn't have central air in our house. We just had windows and fans.
You had window units.
Well, that's why you kept referring to that as a fan, and I was like, no, a fan is like a box fan or a fan that stands on the ground and oscillates.
No, I know the difference between that and an actual fan. Have you ever slept with somebody like not like that? Like
I know what a fan is. By the way, have you ever slept with somebody like after a show? Where the hell are you going with
anyway, have you ever fucked anyone after? No.
I know what a fan is. Okay, I have a lot of them, and they come up to me after shows.
So anyway, have you ever had sex with any of your fans?
Oh
no, somebody that has to have a box fan to fall asleep.
No.
I've two.
And like on their face?
Yeah, it's more of like the sound than anything, but they have to have a box fan on to fall asleep.
When I sleep with a fan on, I wake up stuffy. If there's like an overhead fan or a fan on my face, if there is air blowing on me in the night, I will wake up with a stuffy nose.
Yeah, I don't like air at night. In fact, I like to be pretty hot.
I don't like to be hot. I'd rather be cold at night than hot.
When I did that festival in Cleveland, the room that I was in didn't have central heat. What's it called? I don't know. Just heat? It didn't have heat in it.
It didn't have heat?
No. So
it had to have had heat.
Well, they didn't turn it on. And I just had this tiny space heater in the room. And so I just pointed it right at the bed.
Yeah.
And just right into my face. And I slept
Jeez.
like a baby. But if it would have been a fan, I would have hated it. But I can do heat right on my face.
That's crazy, dude. I feel like my mouth would be all dry and my throat would hurt.
Yeah, that kind of happened. It was worth it.
But you're fine with that?
It was worth it.
That's crazy, dude. So anyway, we had never met. Sarah had 3 days to come to New York, which meant I was doing all the groundwork, which I didn't mind, but you said no to every single apartment that I sent you. That's what made me mad, is that it was like 2 weeks of me waking up at 7 in the morning and looking at 5 apartments before I went into radio for 4.5 hours.
I didn't know you were going to do that, though.
And then going to shows. But how else were we going to do it?
The 3 days I was here, which
you
we did.
You thought we could find an apartment, look at all of them, and sign it and get everything done in 3 days.
Yes, because we did.
We didn't, though. I contacted Sal 2 weeks. I had already been working with Sal for the 2 weeks before you got here. I had already looked at apartments and known yes or no, this or that.
I scheduled some tours before I got here, but they were in Brooklyn. Right. And then we decided on Astoria. So I had scheduled the tours already, and then I was like, oh, I'll just go on them when I'm there, and if I like it. I feel like New York moves really fast, where I was like, oh, I'll just go there. I'll sign it that day. I came with cash.
Sure. But also, it was almost impossible to see more than 3 apartments or 4 apartments in a day.
One time I moved to Florida, and I'd never even seen the apartment. I just moved into a place.
Don't tell me that, because that makes me more mad. Because I would be like, hey, this place is 1 minute from the train. Hey, this place is here. Hey, this place is here. And then you were like, send me a picture. I hate the kitchen.
Well, the place in Florida had a really nice kitchen.
What's about the kitchen?
I like a nice kitchen.
Why? What's the difference?
I mean, both of us cook a lot. Can you imagine? Imagine.
Here's the thing. The kitchen that she's talking about was fully functional. There was nothing wrong with it as far as cooking goes.
Except it was hideous.
But the way that it looks doesn't affect how you cook. You think your food would not taste as good if it's made in an ugly kitchen?
Probably.
Is that the problem? That when someone isn't good at cooking, it's because their food came from an ugly kitchen?
I think I have a weird thing with smells. Like, okay, eating in a camper. Can't do it.
Okay.
And something about an old kitchen gives camper vibes.
How many meals were you force-fed in a camper?
A lot. My parents bought a camper 2 miles down the road from our house, keep in mind. So I'm like, why do we
Not even for like summer vacations.
It was our summer vacation, but it was 2 miles down the road and we had to go stay there for a week. And I'm like, why can't we just come back home at night and use a regular bathroom? But for 1 week every summer, we had to go 2 miles down the road to this campground. And we had to stay in a camper, and my mom would make unseasoned food in a camper, and it smelled weird. And now I can't eat in a gross, smelly kitchen.
All right. You didn't tell me any of that. Now I sound like a bitch because you have unresolved kitchen trauma. That's got nothing to do with me. But that makes sense. But that's also why I wouldn't live in a basement. That was one of my non-negotiables, was I will not live underground. Because I had an apartment that was underground and I hated it. I felt like a mole person every day because you're at eye level with people's feet. And it's like, this is insane. I don't think I could do that. The ceilings are low and it's dark and there's not enough like natural light coming in.
I need natural light.
Yeah.
I also hate in New York when it's a basement unit, they call it a garden unit.
Garden apartment. I have a whole joke about this.
Oh. Yeah, I hate that. I'm like,
I would say it's called a garden apartment because you get to put your roots down in failure.
Yeah.
That's the joke.
It's never a garden. It's not a garden that you think of. It's like a compost pile.
It's not good. And also there's no gardens in New York.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'd live in a garden apartment if it was like a rose bed garden.
Full of rose bushes?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be pretty.
So we meet for the first time in person when Sarah gets to New York and we're going to look at apartments. That's the very first time that we met in person.
What'd you think of me?
I was already annoyed with you because you kept saying no to every single place. And I don't know if you remember the conversation that I had where I was like, I'm not going to any more places. I was like, I'm not going to look at any more until you're here.
You know, I'm so oblivious that I didn't know you were annoyed with me. And you were like, I'm not going to any more places. And I was like, perfect, we'll go together.
Because I was like, I'm not doing this. I've seen 45 apartments and you hate all of them. So you know what? We'll wait.
And I was like, yay. Okay, I'll see you soon.
Oh my God, she wants to hang out with me. That's awesome, dude. What did I think of you? You immediately shared your location with me because you were lost. You were in a part of a store. You were in a part of New York I've never even heard of.
You sent me the wrong address.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
And I'll pull up the text messages. You said I sent you to somewhere. It was an apartment that you had already looked at.
Oh, my bad.
And then you came and picked me up in your car.
I did come and pick you up. But, yeah, I was like, I was annoyed because I'm like, she doesn't know anything. She's lost. She doesn't know what she wants out of an apartment. She doesn't know anything. Because you wanted the list that Sarah had for things in a New York apartment for under $2,500 was absolutely insane.
It was a nice kitchen.
An updated, brand new kitchen.
I didn't say brand new. I said a nice kitchen and laundry in the building.
I
said in the building.
In building. It gave in unit vibes. Close to everything. Like, it was just one of those things where I'm like, we're never going to find this for under $3,000. It's just not going to happen. And no, you know what the big problem was, other than those two, was the couch fitting. Yeah. Because it is such a big couch. The couch is huge that there weren't allowed a lot of living rooms that were big enough for the couch. And had a nice kitchen and had laundry. You know what I mean?
I would have given up on the couch, or that couch is 4 sections. So I'm like, I don't have to bring all the sections.
Yeah.
We could always downsize
the middle section out. So we meet in person. I pick her up. We go to start seeing apartments. The first thing you said to me, do you remember? Not after you got in the car when we started walking. You go, wow, you're shorter than I thought.
I was about to say, because I was like, what's the first thing you noticed about me? That's what I noticed about you. Yeah. I was like, you're so small.
And then I was like, what did you think? Do you think I was 9 feet tall? Like,
I thought you were going to be taller than me.
No, we're the same size.
I thought you were going to be like 5'6".
No, I just give off 5'6" energy, bitch.
Big dog.
Woo! But you know what I thought about you? I was like, she's unprepared. You had on big, chunky sneakers. And like your coat was thin. And I was like, there's no way. She's not going to last all day.
No, I had on my full winter jacket that I wear every day.
What were you wearing? No, you were wearing your big chunky sneakers. I was like, her feet are going to hurt so bad.
I was wearing my Doc Martens.
No.
Yeah, I was wearing my black Doc Martens, and I was wearing my black winter jacket that I still wear all the time here.
Winter jacket?
Yes, it's my Michael Kors winter jacket that I wear all the time. It's the only thing I brought because I flew on Spirit. And I was here for 3 days, and I packed everything in a backpack. So I just wore that same jacket every day.
So then maybe it was the shoes. I thought you were wearing chunky sneakers, but either way, Doc Martens. Because I'm like, your feet are going to hurt so bad. You can't walk around all day in this. But then, you know what I've learned? Sarah will wear the most ridiculous outfits and be like, not uncomfortable. You don't get sweaty. You don't get, like, you just wear that all day.
Yeah.
That's
crazy. You
thought
I was unprepared, but that was actually me prepared.
Because I'm like, I need tennis shoes for the amount of steps we're going. I need removable hat, glove, scarf in case I get hot or cold. Like, very much preparing for all situations.
When it's really cold, it wasn't that cold that day. If it's very cold, then I am super bundled. But as far as like being in like comfortable shoes and stuff, I mean, I can go 3-4 miles in a pair of Doc Martens.
That's crazy. I don't even like wearing my snow boots like when it's really cold, and I don't like wearing tennis shoes because my feet get cold in the tennis shoes, but the snow boots aren't comfortable to walk in.
I walked today. It's 8 degrees today, and I
cold.
had on leggings, and then I normally wear tall socks, but I wore my ankle socks with a pair of tennis shoes, so I had this like a little tiny bit of skin showing, and I was like, my ankles are gonna have frostbite. I was almost positive I was going to get to the gym and have to cut off my ankles.
Just the ankles.
Just ankles down. It's over for me.
Calf to foot.
Yeah. I'm going to have to sew it back on. I'm going to be a couple inches shorter.
A whole new term for cankles. So we saw a couple apartments. You didn't like any of them.
I actually liked the one, and then
I was just done, to be honest with you. By the time you got here, I was like, just pick an apartment. I very much felt like a man trying to figure out what you wanted for dinner, where I was like, just pick a fucking place. I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the whole thing at this point. I don't even care. Sign the papers. I don't give a shit where I live.
I liked the one that was above the fish market.
I like that one too.
But you know, I was worried with you having a shellfish allergy.
I was a little worried too, because it was in the perfect location. It was right in the middle of everything. Half a block from the train, 3,500, which was the absolute top of our budget. Both of us were like, that's too much. But if it's perfect, then we'll do it, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
If it wasn't above a fish restaurant, I bet we would have picked that one.
Yeah. And
it had a huge living room. It had a brand new kitchen, brand new bathroom.
The only thing was, it was 3 bedrooms, but they were all small.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we're going to have to like split. But then we would have had a place for the podcast. Whatever. Doesn't matter. But that was one. That was my favorite one if it wasn't for being above a fish market.
Yeah. And it did smell like fish.
Yeah.
Like the apartment smelled like fish.
And it was loud.
It was very loud. Not that we're like home trying to fall asleep at 9:30 a lot.
Yeah.
But it was loud. Like you could hear everything.
No, I was worried it was going to be loud in the morning because you know those fishers or whatever those people are called that make the fish.
Fishermen?
The cooks that come in. I bet they listen to music as soon as they get there. You've worked in a restaurant.
Yeah, 6 a.m. polka party.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
They're they're blasting music. They're decaying the fish.
Decaying.
Mm-hmm.
Decaying?
What do they do to fish?
Decaying?
No, they don't.
Do you know what that word means?
Yeah, it means you're rotting.
They're rotting the fish before they hand it out to people.
What is it when
Fillet?
deboning?
Deboning.
They're deboning the fish.
Yeah.
And they're playing music. And I couldn't listen to that.
That would be a lot. But we ended up seeing another apartment on this block that I liked, but it was choppy and it was kind of small. Remember?
I don't even remember what it looks like.
Well, it was down the street and it was closer to Astoria Boulevard. It was closer to the opposite end of the street where there's nothing. But it was right next to the firehouse.
Ooh.
Yeah, you said that the first time. We're like, get a fireman. Like,
actually, like a fireman isn't even my type, so I don't know why I keep saying that. I think I'm saying it for you. I'm like, Mary, look at that buff guy. That's what you like.
In a committed relationship for almost 5 years.
You can look.
Oh my God, there's nothing to look at.
They're gonna look at the window.
So we saw that, and it was one of those that was like a poorly done flip.
Yeah.
Where it was like,
They
it's
put
meant to
paneling on the floor.
Yes.
But like you're falling through it a little bit when you walk.
When
you're like,
it
what's
like
underneath
bubbles.
here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like meant to feel like, oh my God, it's so new. But it's like you did like the basic fixture.
Like they
uppers.
painted the cabinets, but they didn't even put like a second layer of
nothing.
Like it all would have chipped within a couple days.
So then our apartment guy, our broker, which is bullshit, first of all, that you pretty much have to have a broker in New York City who gets, what did he take?
What is it? 10%?
10% of the annual. 10%
rent.
of the annual rent goes to the broker, which is, I've never even heard of that until we moved here.
No, before I moved here, you just walk in.
Yes.
And you just say, hey, I'd like this apartment. And
I would like to live here.
Okay. And I understand that you thought I was unprepared, but I was like, a little bit. I was like, no, you just go to apartments and you're like, I want this one.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works in Cleveland, too. I don't know if that's a Midwest thing or not enough people want to live there, but I've never had to go through what we had to go through.
Yeah.
Like, to get an apartment here. So
and
he
read the entire lease to us. I was like,
we'll get there.
Okay.
Go in order. We tell him, we're like, this just, like, everything you're showing us is just not what we're looking for. Like, this is not, we can't check off all our boxes. And he goes, well, there's another apartment I have right up the street from here. It's like a block and a half up, but it's a current daycare. And we're like an active daycare. And he was like, so let me reach out to the owners to see if maybe we can come by. And then he called them and they were like, yes, but it's nap time. There are children here.
Perfect. I could use one.
There's children here.
I've been walking around in a pair of Doc Martens for 2 hours.
I was like, unsensible footwear over here needs to take a load off. So we come here, and Lisa, our landlord, answers the door, and she's like, shh, come on. There's kids.
Who I love.
She's great. There's a baby napping in, like, what is now Sarah's room. Our whole living room is set up with children's toys, and there were giraffes on the wall, a whole safari setup, and but it was huge and it was perfect. And we were like, oh my God, this place is like so much storage, great kitchen. Like, we really loved it.
You could see the vision.
It's great.
I'm like, without the slide or even with the slide.
Keep the slide.
This is a nice place.
And the front bedroom was huge. It was like, but that was set up like almost like a classroom kind of with like tables and desks and stuff. But yeah, we liked them. We talked to her for like a half hour. She was really into it. We were really into it. I think we had like 2 or 3 more apartments to look at. And I was like, I do not like how far this is from the train.
I didn't like that either.
That was my bit. And there's no laundry. in the building at all. So I was like, 2 of my non-negotiables are now being negotiated. Laundry, I was kind of hit or miss on, where I was like,
Laundry
honestly,
was one of my non-negotiables that I gave up on for this place.
Yeah. Laundry, I was like, I've been to laundromats. I don't love it. It's a pain in the ass, but I'll do it. But the walk to the train, which I will say, I still hate. I still hate it every day.
Every time. And it's more so only on the way back. For some reason, on the way to the train, I'm like, I live in New York City.
Look
this
at
is
me.
So, oh my God.
I'm going to a show.
And I have my little AirPods in, and I have a playlist dedicated to walking to the train.
Is it the same every time?
Yeah.
Really? So you know, like, by the time I hit Lady Gaga, I should be at the train.
Yeah. And I only listen to the same, like, 14 songs for the past 7 years. So it's really just those songs on repeat.
Okay. But it is the way home. You've done 2 shows. Home. It's 1 a.m, and you're like, I do not want to walk 17 minutes home from this train right now.
It's late. Yeah. It is. That is the one thing that has been so hard about here is that walk. Just the walk home.
The walk home, it's trash. It's really bad. And the thing is, our apartment is like 1,200 square feet, which is huge. We only pay $2,800 for it. So, I mean, money-wise.
Stainless steel appliances. Huge rooms.
The kitchen is so nice.
The kitchen's so nice.
I love the kitchen so much.
Look, I'm just looking at it. I'm like, that. It's a good kitchen.
It is a good kitchen. It's a great kitchen.
Floor to ceiling cabinets.
We found out that it's so renovated and so pretty because our landlords lived here, which we lucked out with.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I have a dedicated parking spot that I do have to pay for, but it's nice to not have to move my car on the street. So this one had pretty much everything. I wish if I could pick this apartment up and move it 5 minutes.
Blocks.
5 minutes closer to the train.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm never leaving.
I'd never leave this place. I'd ask if I could buy it.
Right. But yeah, so we moved in together. I got here a couple days before you did. We signed all the come back to sign the paperwork. The things that they required, like we said, in Ohio and Indiana, when you go in to rent an apartment, it's literally like, hi, we have 200 open units. And I'm like, great, let me see 3 different floor plans. You pick one, you sign it, you give them the deposit, and that's the end of it.
Right.
You don't have to show them anything. You might have to show them a W-2, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't even know
like
if I
your
did that.
license.
Yeah.
Like, here's a picture of me.
And I bet if you didn't have your license, if you were like, oh, I have a picture of my license on my phone, they'd be like, cool, we love that.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be you. So we needed, what did we need? We needed tax documents from the last 2 years.
Proof of employment.
Proof of employment, 2 years of W-2s. We needed 2021 and 2022.
2 like recommendations.
Yeah, 2 references.
References.
We needed, we had to send them screenshots of our bank statements to prove how much money we had because they were like, you need to have at least 10 times the rent in your bank account before you can have it. And that was 10 times each.
Yeah.
So $28,000 each.
In our bank account.
In our bank accounts before they were like, yes, you can have this. And then there was so many things that I was like, this is absolute insanity. Like, I'm surprised they weren't like, we need to know your cycle. Like, tell us when your period's coming because we need to match it up with our other tenant.
Get a hold of your psychiatrist and tell them that we need documents of any underlying mental health issues you have.
It was truly wild. And then when we came to sign it, we get all that together. We came to sign it, which I will give you this. I was a little annoyed that you had all that ready way before I did. Because I was like, she's the unprepared one. Like, how in the world? You, like, within, like, 30 minutes, you had your whole packet together. You sent it off. They were waiting on me for, like, 2 days.
Because I seem unprepared, but I actually kind of know what I'm doing when it needs to get done.
Do you know how frustrating that is? Do you know how absolutely insane it is
Everything
to walk around
works out.
with someone who says things like, butter doesn't expire. And then when they're like, we need 84 years of tax documents. And she goes, okay. And, like, pulls it out of her backpack. I'm like, what is this? What are you, dude? You're an enigma. I can't figure you out.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know butter expired, but I've eaten butter after it expired, and I feel fine.
That doesn't explain why sometimes you're randomly prepared for things.
Well, I'm just saying everything always is fine.
It's all going to be fine.
Everything always works out.
Yeah. So our landlord, and we meet up with them. She called us like 15 times.
I'm learning how often you were annoyed with me within the first 3 days of meeting me.
It was a lot.
And I didn't know. I was like, oh, I got my stuff together. Let's go.
But
And
I
you're
was also like
fuming.
tired. I was so tired. My first month here, I was like learning the subway system. I was going to radio. I was still doing the hang out at every show until 1 a.m. thing. You know what I mean? So I was leaving my house at 8 a.m. to go look at apartments, or leaving my friend's house at 8 a.m., go looking at apartments, doing 4.5 hours of radio, trying to be on and like meet the radio people, and then like trying to be on at comedy shows and like doing my best comedy, and then like hanging out until 1 a.m. and then taking the train back. Like it was a lot. It was a lot. And then to be like, we still don't have a place to live by the last day that you were here.
Yeah.
You know?
I will say when I took, because I was staying at a friend's house on Lower East Side, and when I took the train from there to Astoria, I had a little bit of, I don't know if we should live here. Yeah. Just for a second. I was like, this is so far.
It's so
Especially because I was staying on the Lower East Side, which was like 15-minute walk from the stand. Mm-hmm. So like that's kind of what I got used to when I was staying here for those 3 days. And then I was like, oh God, it was like 48 minutes for me to get to you.
Yes.
I was like, okay.
Which is a compromise we make for the amount of space we have.
Right.
Because we would be, it just wouldn't have worked. For us to be in Manhattan for $3,000, we would have lived in a 600 square foot apartment.
Right.
And one of us would have lived in the living room. Like it wouldn't have even worked.
No, we're too spoiled here now.
We are spoiled here. So we sign everything. They read us, the landlord or the agent, the broker.
One by one.
Line by line, page by page. And we're like, look, I don't care. I'm almost at that point. At that point, I was like, sign it. And if I sign away my rights to my firstborn, I don't care.
I did not
have
care.
It. Have my baby. I don't need it.
I was like, you have no idea the things I've signed without reading, dude. Like,
right.
I've signed so many documents and not read a single thing on them. So for me, I was like, we were both like,
both of us. We kept like trying to turn the pages, like slow down, slow down.
He literally
like,
goes, "Oh, we're not done with that page."
Yes,
and
we
both
are.
of us were like,
both
"Oh,
like,
it's signed.
So done.
I
We're
already
done.
signed it."
Yeah.
It's like
I flipped ahead to page 32 and signed it.
Whatever
so
it says on there, it's already signed. So
yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yeah,
just take it.
You can read it out loud or not. I already put my signature on there.
Why don't you? Hey, you know what? Read it out loud. Send me a voice memo, and then I'll say confirmed.
Yeah, just email me this. I'm not gonna read it, but like that'd be. Just send me this in an email so annoying. Me to ignore.
That was so annoying. Where I was like, just this is so dumb. And I get it. He's trying to cover his ass or whatever. But you know what else I thought too? I was like, he's doing this for the 10% annual money. Like he's has to feel like he's doing something other than making a phone call to the landlord. So he's like, oh, I know. I'll read them their lease.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Page by page.
Absolutely insane.
I'm good.
So we moved in together. It was great.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Brian, what did I say the other day?
It's been a year.
It's been a year. And I was talking about something. What was it? I said, guess what, Sarah, blah, blah, blah. Guess what happened with Sarah today or something. Oh, it was the rent check thing. Oh. And I was like, guess what happened with Sarah today? And he goes, what? Did you guys finally have your first fight? And he was like annoyed about it because he was like, there's no way that you two just, because Brian and I did not have an easy transition. When we moved in together. It was like 6 months before we found a groove. And I would say every day for 3 months, I was like, we're breaking up. Like, there's no way. We're not going to make it through this. We're not a strong enough couple to overcome these differences because living with people can be very, very difficult.
Yeah. I honestly have not had a lot of bad roommate stories. I got in a fist fight with the girl that lived next to me in my dorms.
I broke up a fist fight in my dorms. Yeah. It was my roommate versus another girl down the hall, and I like barrel hugged him. And, like,
it wasn't with my roommate. I fought her because she was being mean to my roommate.
Aw,
I know.
Look at you.
I'm a fighter for my friends. Yeah, if anyone's mean to you, let me know. I will hit them.
Okay. I cry a lot, but not over that.
And then with my friend Sammy, we lived in a studio apartment together with one bed.
Sammy's like the most agreeable person I've ever met, though.
Both of us are a little too agreeable where we never got anything done there.
Yeah,
we just moseyed around for 4 months.
Yeah,
and
I could see that.
Just tried to just ended up on random boats in the middle of nowhere. And we're like, we're going to die here.
You're in Indiana. Where did you even find a boat to get on?
No, we moved to Florida together.
Oh, okay. I was like, dude.
There was one night it was like the middle of the night. And we had obviously been drinking all day. And I just like look around and we're on a boat with these 3 random men. And I was like, we're going to die in Florida.
We're going to end up overboard.
This is how we die. But both of us are just kind of like go with the flow. Everything will work out.
Yeah.
Kind of people. And then So I think that's why I normally don't have trouble living with people unless they get annoyed with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the one that like I'm the annoying one, and I realize that. So as long as the person that's living with me is able to handle that, then I don't have trouble living with people.
The only thing that you do that annoys me, and I have brought it up to you, is that you don't clean the shower.
Yeah.
That is the only thing that I have, like, and it took me when we first moved in together, it was probably over a month before I said something. Because I was like, I can't be coming out the gate. I can't be coming out the gate like a mom, like pick up after yourself. Because you are pretty clean.
How often should you clean the shower?
Every time you take a shower, I would clean it after it.
Oh.
Because you were using self-tanner, too, at this point. I don't know if you still do or not.
No, I gave up on that.
Okay, because it was like an orange ring of just scum.
Yeah.
Like you know when you go into someone's hot tub and you can tell they've never cleaned it and the bubbles are like brown?
Yeah,
that's what was on our tub every time you took a shower.
Ooh.
Or maybe not every time, but like every other time. And there was also always hair in the drain. And I think I asked you at one point when you're like, I only wash my hair once a week. And I was like, that's impossible.
I do only wash my hair once a week.
There's no way. The amount of hair that is in this drain, it is just scientifically impossible that you only wash it once a week.
Well, you wash your hair 4 times a week, so.
My hair is blonde. It wasn't blonde hair in the drain.
I only wash my hair once a week, so I don't know if it's coming off of my body.
Clumps are coming off of her. That was the only thing that bothered me. And you're so much better. I brought it up one time, and I will say that I think you're so worried about being in trouble with people that
I hate being in trouble. It's my biggest fear.
And it's not even trouble, but if I say like, hey, could you try to do this? I literally never have to say it again, and you do it immediately every time.
I would say that's my biggest fear, is being in trouble.
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it at work. I've always been like a really good worker.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I'm always a really good worker. And then if I get in trouble at work, I quit because I'm like, I can't even be here anymore.
You're
like,
so embarrassed.
Yeah. I got in trouble one time at work, and I was like, I have to quit this job.
I can't be here ever.
Like,
what'd you get in trouble for?
When I worked at my restaurant job, it was the week after COVID that we were allowed to come back, and I had just recovered from COVID like 3 days before, and I got a really bad review saying that I was disheveled and not a good server, and then I got in trouble at work for it, and I was like, wow. Yeah, I am disheveled. I am sick.
I have 104 degree temperature.
Yeah,
right now.
like I'm like, I am, but like then I just started crying because I was like, now I'm in trouble and I'm also sick. And I was like, if you guys want me to quit, I will. And they were like, no, we don't want you to quit. We just had to bring this up to you because it was like a review and like it's part of our protocol to bring it up to the servers. And I was like, well, it feels like you're yelling at me. Okay.
Wow. And then you quit the job.
I actually didn't end up quitting, but I was like, I will quit if that's what you guys want. And they were like, no,
that's crazy. They're like, no, dude, we're just trying to tell you.
Yeah. I was like, well, if you guys are going to be mean about it.
Is there anything that I do that you don't like? I also feel like
think so.
You're the kind of person where nothing really bothers you, though.
Yeah, I'm like,
Okay.
Oh, you walk loud.
I know. You said that for the first time. What was it? Like last week. I could hear it in your voice. It was early in the morning, and I was like coming out here, and you were still in your room. And you were like, do you know you walk on your heels? And it was like the first time I had ever felt you be annoyed with me. And I was like, I guess.
I didn't even say it like you walk loud. I'm like, are you aware?
Did you have any idea that you sound like an elephant when you come down? You know what? Maybe you should come to the gym with me because you're a fucking rhinoceros.
No,
in our
it's
home.
like, it is in the middle of the night because you get up to use the bathroom at like 2 a.m. or something, and it'll be like, don't, and then you slam the door for some reason.
Because I'm asleep.
Yeah.
I'm tired and I'm just like bumping into things.
You're fumbling to the bathroom. And I'm like, okay, this was your non-negotiable for me to not come home drunk and fumbling and slamming doors. And I was like, and you're doing it sober somehow.
Every night.
Like every night.
You hear me every night get up and go to the bathroom?
Yeah.
All right, I'll try to walk on my tiptoes. I'll try to walk on the balls of my feet.
But I wouldn't say it like bothers me. I'm just like, I think that's the thing that I'm most aware of with you. Where I'm like, damn.
I'm a loud walker.
Damn, she got some heels on.
I do. It's all on my heels. So, where did the special friends come from? I know you're all dying to know. We were on a show at the stand together, and things have been really good as far as roommates can go. You know, for us to have met online and then like the first time we ever see each other in person is we're on a 72-hour timeline to sign a lease, and the stress of it all. We've done really well.
Yeah.
And when we tell people like that, they're like, we thought you guys have been friends for 20 years. We're like, no, we just kind of get along. Like, it all just kind of worked out. But we were on a show together at the Stand, and Sarah was hosting it. And she brought me up on stage. I'd like you to explain what was going through your head. Because
I thought it was a nice gesture.
she was like, go ahead. She was, let me introduce your next comic.
And your next comic, she's a very special friend of mine. Everybody, put your hands together for Mary Santora, which I thought was a beautiful thing to say.
Okay, but totally gay. Like, totally makes us sound like we're having sex together. You didn't say we're roommates. You didn't say we know each other. You just said she's a very special friend. I'm like, brother, I have credits. You could have used any of
I said SiriusXM first, maybe.
No, I don't think that you did.
No, I probably didn't. It was more important that they knew that we were very special friends. Yeah. Okay, you've been on the radio, but like,
okay,
also,
cool.
You're friends with me.
So I'm a very special friend of yours.
I thought it was a nice gesture.
It is a nice gesture, but
you have a fear of being gay.
I don't have a fear of being gay. People already think I'm gay because I like to wear flannel and green, which I guess is a gay color. I get hit on by so many women.
You're like the metrosexual guy, and everyone's like, oh, I think he's gay. And he's like, I'm not gay. That's you.
That is not me. That is not
Don't
me.
call me your special friend. I'm not gay.
This is so much internalized homophobia. I just punch you in the face. No, it was just like, because people already think we're kind of gay. We have two cats.
Flannels and...
Dude, we have two cats. We met on the internet. We moved in together, never having seen each other in person. Okay, we hang out all the time. We go, like, we arrive and leave places together. She's always like dressed up and kind of girly, and I like rarely wear makeup, and I'm in flannels or hoodies and skinny jeans, which apparently are lesbian. I'm finding out. Skinny jeans and Jordans are like a go-to lesbian
skinny jeans
look.
and Jordans for sure.
Which is
skinny
what I wear.
And Tims?
That's what I wear every day. My gray Tims are my favorite pair of boots.
It's also the way that you walk in them. It's kind of gay. Like, you do like a little, like, because you walk on your heels, so it kind of goes da-dun, da-dun, da-dun when you walk in your Jordans. And it's a very gay walk.
Whatever, dude. I don't know what to tell you. But then when you're introduced, you're all like hot with your like little crop top on and your like little baggy jeans and your hair. And you're like, this is my special friend. And I come lumbering up in my flannel and Jordans. And I'm like, we're not gay. And everyone's like, you guys are totally gay. But after that, it just kind of stuck. Brian started calling you my special friend. I started calling you my special friend.
Yeah.
You started. And so then we made our first ever, we're going to get a new sign.
You guys aren't going to believe this, but we made that.
Could you believe it? That this, not professionally done. Special
Isn't
friends.
it even funnier that I had this just ready?
Yeah.
I had this in the home.
We drew
because
Duchess.
I have ADHD habits of just buying things. And I'm like, I'll definitely make something with that.
Yeah, so we made our podcast called Special Friends because we are special friends. And there's Duchess and Chloe. We're great artists. And that's what we wanted to make for you guys. A little podcast about being special friends.
So now we're special friends.
And maybe you send this to your special friend. And you let them know. Hey, this is us. Oh my God, this is totally us.
So us.
You're the boy one, I'm the girl one. Oh my God. You annoy me, but I don't annoy you. Oh, you don't think butter expires. That's crazy.
It kind of doesn't.
Whatever. Okay. Do you have any plugs? Where are you going to be coming up? This probably won't come out until after the new year.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Okay.
Let's just let this know.
Okay. Well, you can follow us on social media at Special Friends Pod. We did start a page for that. We'll be posting clips there. We kind of document us at the Christmas market with a little tree in the background. Special Friends hang. And yeah, we're going to put these out every week. So thank you for being here for our first episode. And we'll see you guys next week.